public. So these are the two things sort of highlighting some of the.
So it was this set of folks who were working in the IT industry, and even among the general public, there were these striations. So that's one. The other one, as you rightly said, is the tremendous propensity for us as Bangaloreans to go for social media and video consumption. So that's another one that strongly came on. The third one, which is again of concerned public policy folks, is that the learning of how to use digital or how to navigate digital, surprisingly, is not coming from school or college. It is through word of mouth. So obviously, it is influenced by the group you're moving around with. I think there is a very strong need for schools to somehow inculcate digital society, not in that. I think that should be a part of school training.
Although the general public is not utilizing government apps, they are using the UPI-based other apps, and which I think, in some sense, for example, the government has indicated in the past. So, I mean, once again, this is not a defense of the government. I'm just saying the way to look at it is government looks at BHIM as the seeding app to initiate this digital payments, and then the public looks at whichever is more user-friendly or whatever the others, do the advertisements and give the coupons and stuff, right? And they use it. So, to that extent, the digital public goods foray has worked well. It may not get reflected in the government app itself, but in the category of digital payments, it has worked very well. Now we have to see how it's migrating to. For example, we don't see that in telehealth. Okay, but that's an area for improvement, right? And that's what we brought up, that IT experts are 20 times more comfortable using telehealth as compared to the general public. Now, government is doing something on ABDM and UHI, NNG. All these people are working. So, is there a way that the success they found with UPI could be translated to others? Those are questions to think about. That's a fair point. What you have said. Thank you.
Focus on the report and move to something broader, because the focus of this panel was meant to be the importance and the relevance of the digital society. And here I'm going to go to Radhalakshmi and specifically draw on her prior research with the urban poor in Ramnagaram and look at what the rhetoric of the digital society might mean from that vantage, from your experience. If you actually, the work of Kentaro Toyama, who used to be the Deputy Managing Director of Microsoft Research here, and he's now at the University of Michigan, he spent years working as a technologist and finally came to the conclusion technology only amplifies social privileges and gaps. Right? It's like, you go back to go talk to any person who does ERP implementation, they'll tell you, you're automating a rotten process, you will continue to have a rotten process that just is done much more quickly. Or to put it more simply, garbage in, garbage out, right? So that kind of, if you want to take a simple slogan. So my question is from the vantage is that, given your fieldwork, that years of fieldwork with microfinance borrowers, with poorer households, what does the notion of a digital society, access to technology, if at all, really mean? What are the implications?
About my research work at Ramnagaram, the Ramnagaram Financial Diaries. Now, we were trying to study a model which is very much like technology, which is the Grameen microfinance model, was touted to be this scalable kind of a model, which was being seeded everywhere, all over India, especially South India. And looking at these 90-odd women, I mean, we were in and out of their homes almost regularly every week there for almost 11 months. And we realized how much any intervention, be it a microfinance intervention like Grameen, and today be it an intervention, a technological intervention. Okay, how much it has to be understood in the context in which it has been seeded. So for me, understanding Ramnagaram Financial Diaries and the microfinance behavior there got far far more sharper when I realized that the whole of Ramnagar was actually pegged into the silk economy. So once I understood the context of the silk economy, these interventions started making sense. So, I mean, I'm bringing it back to the report, but I think the report also needs to get in this context. So for me, Ramnagar, then ultimately at the end of the day, was also all about the ups and downs of the silk city, the silk economy. So that kind of a context bringing is important. And the other question that I want to take up as to when I look at the results of the survey, and this, I mean, the survey pointed out to me, a digital society today as an educator is, in my class, all my students are consuming their content digitally. I mean, we are no longer giving them binders because they're not using it. They are getting all their information, all their study material digitally. Okay? And I think it was Herbert Simon in the 1930s who made this comment that the sulfate of information is only leading to a paucity of attention. How do I hold their attention in that class? To me, that is the biggest problem of a digital society today. I don't know whether it falls within the ambit of the report, but if you ask me what does digital society to me, to an educator, that is what really it means much more to me.
When you think about smartphone, and we have 90% plus, and close to 99% penetration, is that it doesn't matter how expensive is your smartphone. It can be 1 lakh rupees or it can be 10,000 rupees. You get the same content, and that is inclusion at a very fundamental level. So I watch the same video that somebody else with a phone which is 10x more expensive watches. I have access to that. So what it has done is that it has made people more confident. So you can share a location pin, and people feel happy that hey, I don't have to ask 5 different people on how to reach a particular destination. I have a phone, I receive the pin, and I reach there. And if you ask someone about hey, it's going to be Sankranti, so how is Villubella made? And people share videos of how to prepare Villubella. Right? It's no longer that they don't need to tell you, or they don't ask somebody else to tell you how it's made. They just share on WhatsApp they share a link. So that I think has made inclusion and equality at some sense more pervasive than before we were so much of a digital society.
A lot of the content today is available on YouTube, so we have to go to the next level. So I feel that we shouldn't be worried too much whether it's entertainment or whether it's education. I think the line is blurred. So that's my perspective. I feel any of the classes that they're taking it actually on YouTube. So, but it's a data point. It says that the streaming is where a lot of time is being spent. Maybe it's engaging better. App is used sporadically. Only when you need something to be done, you use the app, whereas video, etc. is used maybe more often and it's used for multiple activities. Even if you have a question about a recipe, you go to YouTube. Even if you have a question about some illness, you go to YouTube today. That's where people are getting their information. That's how I see it. The usage increased in healthcare, education, etc. Clearly, and that's how the whole nation was working. Was managing during those times. But the survey clearly shows that after COVID, we have gone back to our regular way of working, living, etc. Maybe that usage has come down. Again, this is something that we need to probably look at in the next version of the survey. We probably need to look at availability of apps in vernacular languages. When we go to rural areas, that is also very, very important. In a city like Bangalore, it may, and that's also why the socio-economic classification A gains, because they probably are very comfortable using English, etc. Whereas when you go down into the socio-economic classifications, they would like to see apps in vernacular languages, and availability of apps in vernacular languages is increasing, but not at that. That's another thing. Also, in rural areas, it's facilitated usage. So, if you look at teleconsult, what is happening is they are asked to go to a laboratory or a clinic from where they will consult the doctor. So, they don't do it on themselves. They will go to a technician who will actually connect them to the doctor. So, it's a facilitated usage actually. We have to now go to those kind of details in order to understand better. This is the beginning that we have done. See, as a capability, I think we must all be comfortable with work from home, because we don't know what is the next crisis going to be. So once we have created the capability, we must make sure that we test it out. It's like disaster recovery, right? Disaster recovery should be tested out, which means that at the individual level, at the organization level, work from home must be periodically tested or maybe used as a practice intermittently at least. But the benefits of working together in an office is significant, and that is the reason why organizations are now requiring employees at least to come for a few days a week, maybe not all days a week. Different companies are adopting different practices. Some companies are saying, maybe 2 days in a month you can work from home, or 3 days in a month. Some companies are saying 2 days a week you can work from home, but 3 days you need to come. So you will see now different practices in different companies. But the benefit of coming to office is, the informal interaction that happens, the being together and being part of the company, that the technology that you are able to provide in the office environment is not, you're not able to replicate that at home. Privacy concerns working from home. So the need to work from office is clearly there. The benefits are significant. You will have ups and downs in the economy, and when the economy is down, you will see some people losing jobs, right? But if you look at medium to long term, the economy is growing. India is growing at 6-7%. The last quarter, I think 7.9%. And a growing economy will create jobs. Absolutely no doubt about that. And employment will increase. In a digital society, in a society, employment will increase. Absolutely. But there will be cycles where some people will lose jobs. There will be cycles of newer technologies, when older technology loses out. See, today, I don't think none of us use typewriters. Typist as a job is gone. When computers were introduced into the banking sector, there was concern about loss of jobs. But today, if you look at 40 years later, the number of jobs in the banking sector is significantly higher because the sector has grown, multifold times, 100 times it has grown. So as the sector grows, more jobs are created, irrespective of what technology is used. And we have a growing economy. In the next 30 years, India is expected to go from today $3.6, $3.7 trillion to a $30 trillion economy, 10 times. You will see significant growth in jobs,
ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ಬಡವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಾ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಾ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ ಇದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಸರ್ವೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಇದು ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಕಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ತಾರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಓದೋಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಬರೀ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನೋಡ್ತಾರಾ, ನೆಟ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾರಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳ ಉತ್ತರ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಜಿಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಅದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಬರುತ್ತಾ, ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ? ಈಗ ಅದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನಗೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅವರು ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ ಇದು ಸರ್ವೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬರೋ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೀವು ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ, ನೀವು ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ನೋಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದೇ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೂ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಊರಿಗೂ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾನಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸು ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಬರೀ ಟೆಕ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ 1500 ಜನ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಈ ಥರ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಸಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಆ ಥರ ಅನ್ಯಾಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಏನು ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೀಟೇಲಾಗಿ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆನೂ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಯಸ್ಸು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ 30 ವಯಸ್ಸು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಅವರೇ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ವಯಸ್ಸು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಇದು ಈ ಥರ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೈಬರ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಮಗೇನೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದು ಭಾಳ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಏನಾದರೂ ಹ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಆದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಇದು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಈ ಥರ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸಹಾಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಖಂಡಿತಾಗಿ 100%. ಬರೀ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋದು, ಟೀಚರ್ಗಳಿದ್ದಾರಾ, ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರುಗಳಿದ್ದಾರಾ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಬರೀ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನೂ ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಕ್ ಏನೂ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು.